You wake up in the morning, and before you even get out of bed, your stomach is already talking to you. That heavy, uncomfortable feeling that you carried through the night is still there. You bloat after almost every single meal. You feel gassy at the worst possible moments. You feel sluggish, foggy, and just not right, and you've been living with this for so long that you've started to think maybe this is just how your body works. Maybe this is just you. It is not just you. What if I told you that the single biggest reason your digestion is suffering has nothing to do with a medical condition, nothing to do with getting older, and nothing to do with bad genetics? What if the foods sitting in your kitchen right now, the ones you eat almost every single day because you thought they were fine, are the exact reason you feel the way you do? That changes everything. And before we go any further, I want you to know that we have programs linked down below in the video description that go so much deeper than what we cover here today. People who have gone through these programs have completely transformed the way their gut feels and functions. But they go fast, so if you feel like what you're hearing resonates with you, check the description right now before they're gone. Most people watch and wait, and then wish they had acted sooner. Now let's get into this. Let's talk about gluten. Not because it's a trend word, not because it sounds dramatic, but because the research on what gluten does inside a sensitive gut is genuinely shocking. When gluten reaches your small intestine, it can trigger an inflammatory response that damages the tiny finger-like structures lining your gut called villi. These villi are responsible for absorbing nutrients. When they get flattened and damaged, your body stops absorbing properly. You could be eating plenty of food and still be nutritionally starving at a cellular level. The bloating, the cramping, the irregular digestion you experience after bread, pasta, or crackers is your body screaming that something is wrong. Gastroenterologists have identified non-celiac gluten sensitivity as a real, documented condition affecting millions of people who have no idea this is what's causing their daily discomfort. You are not imagining it. And here's the pattern interrupt you need to hear right now. Dairy. Almost everyone tolerates dairy as a child. The enzyme your body uses to digest lactose, the sugar in milk, is called lactase. Around adulthood, up to 68% of the global population begins producing significantly less of it. So every time you have a glass of milk, a bowl of cereal, a coffee with cream, or a slice of cheese, your body is struggling to break down what you just gave it. The undigested lactose ferments in your large intestine. It feeds certain types of bacteria. Those bacteria produce gas. That gas causes the cramping, the bloating, the urgent bathroom trips. You thought something was wrong with you. Something is wrong with what you're eating. Let's go deeper. Processed seed oils. Vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil. These are in almost every packaged food you've ever bought. They are highly inflammatory, meaning they actively promote gut inflammation with every single bite. Studies published in nutritional research journals have shown that diets high in these oils are directly associated with increased intestinal permeability, which is also called leaky gut. And leaky gut is exactly what it sounds like. The tight junctions in your gut lining start to break down, and particles that should stay inside your digestive tract begin leaking into your bloodstream. Your immune system panics. It responds with full-body inflammation. Your brain gets foggy. Your joints ache. Your skin breaks out. Your mood tanks. All because of oil sitting in nearly every bottle on the supermarket shelf. Now imagine a different morning. You wake up and your stomach feels quiet, calm. You eat breakfast without dreading what comes next. 2 hours later, you're still comfortable, still energized, still clear-headed. You don't have to plan your day around your bathroom schedule. You don't have to unbutton your pants after lunch. You are just living in your body without fighting it every single day. That is not a fantasy. That is what happens when you stop feeding your gut the foods that are inflaming and destroying it. Now here's something most people never hear from their doctor. Sugar, specifically refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup. The bacteria living in your gut are not passive passengers. They are a living ecosystem, and what you feed them determines who wins. When you eat refined sugar, you are feeding the harmful bacteria and yeast, like Candida, that thrive on it. As they grow in numbers, they crowd out the beneficial bacteria that your immune system, mood regulation, and nutrient absorption all depend on. Scientists call this dysbiosis, and it's been linked in peer-reviewed research to everything from anxiety and depression to autoimmune disorders and chronic fatigue. The mood swings you feel after a sugary meal are not in your head, they are in your gut, because your gut produces around 90% of your body's serotonin. Pattern interrupt. Artificial sweeteners. You switched to diet drinks because you thought you were making a smarter choice. But what the science is showing is that certain artificial sweeteners, including sucralose and saccharin, actually alter your gut microbiome in ways that can worsen blood sugar regulation and reduce microbial diversity. You traded one problem for another without knowing it. That is not your fault. Nobody told you. Most people are still in the dark about this, and they keep wondering why things don't get better no matter what changes they make. Now let's talk about alcohol. Even moderate alcohol consumption has measurable effects on gut motility, the speed at which food moves through your digestive system. It disrupts the stomach's acid production. It damages the lining of the esophagus. It feeds harmful bacterial species and kills beneficial ones. It increases intestinal permeability. And the morning after, that sluggish, heavy, uncomfortable feeling in your gut is not just a hangover. It is your digestive system in genuine distress trying to recover from something that genuinely hurt it. Here's what starts to happen when you remove these foods. Within just days, many people report a noticeable reduction in bloating. Within 2 to 3 weeks, energy levels that people had forgotten they were capable of start returning. Within a month, digestion that people assumed was just their normal becomes something they actually don't think about anymore, because it's working properly and silently the way it was always meant to. People who make these changes often describe it as feeling like themselves again for the first time in years. That is not exaggeration. That is what gut health actually feels like when it's functioning correctly. And here is something you need to sit with for a second. You have probably spent years uncomfortable. Years spending money on antacids, on probiotics you weren't sure were working, on trying to figure out what was wrong. The cost of ignoring this is not just physical discomfort. It is the mental energy spent managing symptoms every single day. It is the missed experiences because you didn't feel well enough to be fully present. It is the long-term health consequences of chronic gut inflammation left unaddressed. The longer these foods stay in your diet, the longer the damage compounds. The people who act on this kind of information today are not the ones who already feel perfect. They are the ones who have hit a point where they know something has to change, and they do something about it, instead of just watching and waiting. One more thing before you go. Fried foods. The combination of damaged fats and the physical difficulty your stomach has breaking down heavy fried meals slows everything down. It sits in your gut for hours longer than it should. It triggers acid reflux. It contributes to that heavy, unmovable feeling after meals that makes you want to do nothing but lay down. Your body is not weak. It is being asked to process something it was never designed to handle at the frequency most people are eating it. Now you know exactly what to stop. And now it is time to decide what you are going to do with that knowledge. The programs we have linked below in the video description are built for people who are ready to stop guessing and start actually healing. Not someday. Right now. Most people who needed this waited too long and kept suffering when they didn't have to. You are here today, you have this information, and the next step is waiting for you in the description below. Go there now.